How far would you go to get your dream body?
Everybody get down!
Maybe some of you would take steroids, maybe looks max, or even some size. But if we're being honest, some of those things are a little bit too outside our comfort zone for a good reason. Maybe I don't want to take years off my life for looking a little bit better. But what if I told you some people on earth are willing to do whatever it takes to reach the ultimate body? Meet Gracie Bon. Gracie basically walked into a character creation menu in real life. Sure, some people don't think this is a dream body, but this isn't your dream. Okay, this is Gracie's dream. Now she's living her dream. Or is she? What surprises me is that not a lot of YouTubers are talking about Gracie, because with one decision, she was able to change her life forever. Well, maybe it wasn't one decision because, she did get more than one surgery. She got her boobs done, tummy tuck, BBL, arms snatched. Bottom line, she did what she had to do to get what she got. And boy, she got. But what may surprise you is Gracie's issue is more than skin deep or BBL deep. I'm not a plastic surgeon, I don't know how far. But anyway, there's more that meets the eye when it comes to Gracie Bon. People know you for one thing. When your body becomes your brand, the brand owns you. And ironically, it seems like Gracie got everything she wanted. The clout, the Instagram followers, the attention. But what was the actual price that she paid? And for everyone that just answered, I'm not talking just about the surgery or the pain to heal from it. I'm talking about what did she really sign up for when she went under the knife? Now, I need to address something or else I know I'm going to get comments about it. People are debating maybe what Gracie has is natural because of what she says in this video.
I have lipedema, a condition that made my legs grow more than normal. Yes, after years of bullying from everyone, including my ex, I got a tummy tuck, I got my breasts done, and not for likes, not for men, just to feel confident again. But that doesn't mean that my bottom is not natural. It's literally what God gave me.
Gracie saying that her bottom is literally what God gave her is a pretty big statement. I found a plastic surgeon commenting on a situation Gracie Bon was in. But in order for that to make sense, we have to understand Gracie's decision to get surgery. And to be frank, the reality is that decision follows her everywhere, literally. I mean, imagine coming home from a long day of work and taking off your pants. All right, not in a weird way, all right? I'm talking about, let's pretend you went to a wedding and you wore some uncomfortable clothes for a long time. And after a long day, you finally take off your clothes. It's probably one of the greatest feelings known to mankind. All right. But when you get something like this, all right, you can't come home and take this off. There's so many women on TikTok with fuller features complain about not being able to get a break from the sisters. But imagine gifting yourself this problem with your butt. You can't just come home after a long day and take off your BBL. It doesn't have an off switch, all right? Now, this might be something inconvenient, but this is only where Gracie's problems really start. Now, in order to understand the true start, we have to see Gracie before surgery. Now, what's crazy to me is how many women look like Gracie before, woke up in that body and said, you know what? I need some more of this. This situation back here, we're gonna have to 2x this, all right? My mama gave me a lot, but it's not enough. I need some to go around for generations to come. I don't think that's how that works. But anyway, Gracie made it happen. I'm sure the doctors told her there's complications with chronic pain, nerve damage, recovery that could take years. And she heard all that and she said, heck yeah, let's do this. Okay, but now it's hard for her to go a single day without feeling the consequences of that decision, good or bad. This isn't Sim's life, all right? You can't just go home and take off your wraps, okay? She's living in a body that's made for content, not comfort. She'll tell you maybe she's snatched, but whatever problems are masked with this BBL are still there. What is it actually like to be the center of attention everywhere you go? I'm sure for some people, they hate attention. For others, maybe they love it, all right? Maybe you like hearing, yes, queen, when you walk down the hallway, whatever floats your boat. There's some people that get attention like this every day. For example, there's someone named King, and he's the type of person that can walk down the street, raise people up without even talking to them. I mean, girls literally walk up, hit on him, and give them their phone number. But what if this attention wasn't just positive? With Gracie's situation, it's more of a spectacle. It's more of almost as if a circus act pulled up on you, where people stare not in approval, but more out of a weird amazement. That has to do something to you psychologically every day. Even when the cameras are off, people still look at her this way. At what point do you start to think differently of yourself because of the 10,000th person that's giving you a weird look? You know what I mean? At what point do you start to question, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have done this? I think it's safe to say for a lot of us, this attention would be too much to handle. There's no undo button. And that's just what people think of you. What about the actual problems you run into? Let's take something as simple as getting on a plane. All right, Gracie had to buy 2 seats for an international flight. And even the 2 seats, even that was a tight fit. Now, imagine having to use the bathroom mid-flight. I'm not the most husky dude, whatever you want to call it. But when I go into the bathroom lavatory, I probably feel like Shaq would feel in a bathroom. It's pretty tight. I can't imagine walking around with 2 Target balls on my butt and having to use the bathroom. Now, funny enough, this leads us back to the people's discussion of, is Gracie Bon natural? Well, this TikTok of Gracie Bon sitting in the airplane seat went viral, and a plastic surgeon decided to comment on it. Or more like, didn't comment on it. Here's what he said.
Gracie's been very vocal about having multiple BBLs, so do you guys think that the airline should accommodate and make larger seats for someone who's had elective surgery like this?
To be honest, I think it's funny the doctor really didn't give any of his thoughts. I honestly don't know where he's getting his sources from, where Gracie's saying she got a BBL done, because she doesn't necessarily say that. But I find it interesting, this doctor does not bat an eye at that thought. You know what I mean? It's essentially this guy's job to do BBLs, and he did not once think, you know what, this looks natural to me. And he didn't comment that, like he didn't say that, you know what I mean? So for me, because of that, because there was no comment, I think it's pretty safe to say this is not natural, all right? I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, if she's an influencer, why doesn't she just get a private jet so she can go to the bathroom more easily? That's a really good point. But even on a private jet, Gracie Bon is not safe, especially when she's in the reach of Aiden Ross and the Nelk boys.
Okay, I'm going to the bathroom, guys.
Oh god,
Okay.
use the back.
Are you taking a No way you're oh, GG's, it's gonna stink up this whole plane.
Eat the
Sorry,
wood?
sorry.
Okay, Gracie, not after the
Oh!
Oh my
Until we land.
That's fucked if a guy did that.
Now, first off, if this were anyone, this would be embarrassing. But now add the fact that these were influencers and there's millions of people that are gonna see this video. I mean, that's something else. But this kind of leads us to our next logical question. How do you even wipe? Well, for Gracie, when you're an influencer and time is money, sometimes you gotta outsource things. And let me ask you a question. Are you currently looking for a job? Are you looking to rub shoulders with influencers? Maybe even rub other things. Pause. For $10,000 a month, you can get very close to an influencer. And when I say close, I mean literally wipe her ass for $10,000 a month. Now, I don't know what kind of relationship you would need to have with someone to do this, let alone be on a payroll and do this with someone, but I don't know how you would look someone in the eyes after this. But with Gracie, it's easy to see the physical problems that things happen. But how does this affect you mentally, which is more important? I mean, she even has people walking up to her and just grabbing her butt.
People are so disrespectful.
Bro, a woman walked up to her and just touched her ass without even asking.
Usually people
gonna-
like this, guys.
I mean, at some point, you become a social experiment. What happens when you make a decision to get this weird kind of attention for the rest of your life? It's one thing if you were born this way. They've actually had great movies like, I believe, The Elephant Man, that kind of document what would it be like if you were born with something and this was just the way you are. Now in modern times, you can choose to be this. And at what point does your body become a prison? Let's say Gracie wanted a fresh start. She's had a breaking point. She got one more dirty look and said, I'm done. All right, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna leave it all behind. How do you do that? How do you reverse a BBL? If your entire life is built on your ass and you remove your ass, what's left? I don't say this to be mean, but I don't know what brands are lining up to work with her. I mean, I honestly don't know how she even makes money now. And I'm not saying that in a mean way, but if I have a clothing brand, would I really want Gracie Bon to wear my clothes? I mean, maybe if it was plus sized, but even in that, this isn't your typical situation. Like, how many girls are gonna look at Gracie Bon and be like, yeah, that's my build. You know what I mean? Like, how many girls actually want to look like this? And the crazy thing, if Gracie Bon wanted to move on, if she said, I'm done, I want to leave behind, I don't think the internet would let her do that. This is permanent. I think the scars that were created during the surgery were also done at a spiritual level. Gracie is stuck with a version of herself she created. What do you think of Gracie Bon? If you want more internet craziness, check out some of the videos on your screen. I'll see you in the next one.